So journal is the book of original entry as all the business transactions recorded in first time.
It is important to say that all the transactions are recorded for the first time. That is the journal entry. Okay. So journal entry is a book of original entry basically. Okay. It is a book of original entry. And all the transactions are recorded systematically for the first time. It is original entry because all the transactions in this are recorded for the first time. That is why. Now, while making journal entries, we record all the transactions in the chronological order. In which order do we record this? In a chronological order. What does chronological mean?
One after another.
Chronological means date wise or time wise. Please mute everyone.
क्लास में हूँ
ठीक है तो chronological means date wise है ना period wise. So transactions in the journal are recorded date wise. If we have recorded some entry on the date of 4th, then we cannot record on the date of 3rd after that. We will have to record either on the 4th or on the 5th, a day after, but not on the same day. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, while making journal entry, we generally do some kind of mistakes. Okay, and we have to rectify that mistakes. Many of us make mistakes many of times. So, once we all might be knowing about journal entry, but the presentation part, we have to see how to present journal entries basically. Okay, so everyone must be knowing the format of the journal. There are 5 columns. Okay, so while making recording, we will be writing first of all in the book of, in the starting we will write journal entry, in the books of the name of the business. Okay, journal
Yes.
entry in the books of, and then a column will be made. The first column will be of date, then particulars, LF, debit amount, credit amount. See, date, particulars, LF, debit amount and credit amount. Okay. So basically, we have to make this format. So this is so common. Everyone might be knowing about this format. So now while recording this transactions, what we have to keep in mind, is how to record transactions, what will come when and where to write it. So initially, first of all, what we are going to do is to mention the date. Whatever date is given, we will mention the given date over there. So after mentioning the date, then comes the particulars. Now while writing particulars, what we have to do, we have to write the item first in the first line, which is to be debited. The item which is to be debited will be written on the first line. And at the end of that line, that column, we will be writing DR, debit. Okay. And when we will be writing in the second line, we will be writing using 2 and some space from the margin will be left. So it will complete my journal entry. Okay, so while making journal entry, we have to keep in mind that we have to write on the first line the amount, that item which is to be debited. Suppose paid rent. Now we all remember the rules. है ना, सबको rule याद होगा?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So rent paid. So rent is an expense for us.
Debit side.
So once the rent is paid, it will be debited. Okay?
Debited.
Rent बढ़ता है तो क्या होता है? Expense बढ़ेगा तो क्या करते हैं? Debit करते हैं.
Debit.
So it will be debited. So after paying rent, we will be crediting to cash. So while crediting any item, we will write it in the second line and we will leave some margin and write to cash account, paying the rent with cash. ठीक है ना? So ये हम लोग काम कर लेंगे. उसके बाद हम लोग क्या करेंगे? कोई बता सकते हो? एंट्री पास करके हम लोग क्या करेंगे?
Narration लिखेंगे.
Narration लिखेंगे. So in narration we will be writing about कि
Which type of transaction is?
no, the item which we are showing in that, we will write that name of that item. Okay. So in transaction we will be using the name of the transaction. Now once we complete that, then we will be there is a column named LF. LF means ledger folio. Okay, what does folio means? Folio basically is a page number. Okay, whenever we pass a journal entry, we used to write the page number, because from journal we have to transfer all the item into ledger, and in ledger in which page number we are writing that entry, we will have to mention that page number so that we can find it quite easily, because there will be a lot of transaction and lot of accounts in the ledger. So that is why in LF column we will write ledger folio, means it is not used while making journal entries at this time. Okay, and in the debit amount will be written, and in credit amount will be written. Now I think this is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Now precautions, what precautions we have to make? Just see, whenever we write any item in the particulars, we have to use the word account with it. Okay, suppose in question it is given rent paid. So what we will be going to write? We will be writing rent account debit to cash account. So we have used account word. So account is to be used. We have to leave some margin in while crediting the item. Okay, so we will be writing to after leaving some of the margin. So these things we have to remember. Then we will be writing narration. Now what we have to remember, one more thing, major mistakes that we make is with the name, with the personal account, name of the person that is to be written. Do you know how to record the name of the persons? If it will be given purchased, if it is mentioned purchased goods from A, enough, for rupees 50,000. What will be the entry of this? What will be the journal entry?
Purchase account debit to any's account.
Just see what we are going to write. We will be writing purchase account debit. It is okay, purchase account debit. Now, while writing the, because we are purchasing it on credit, because the name is written over here. Whenever the name is written, then it means that we are purchasing it on credit. So when we are purchasing it on credit, it will be a creditor. A will be a creditor for us. It is a liability, and when liability increases, it will be credited. So we will be using 2A. Thus, we will not use account. We will just write the name 2A. The amount is 50,000. We will write 50,000. Okay. Now, if you want to use account with it, if you want to use the account with the name, then we will have to add apostrophe s in the name. Matlab, we will be writing A's account. Means we cannot write to A account. Never. Either we will be writing to A or to A's account. Apostrophe s उसमें लगाना जरूरी है. We generally make this mistakes whenever we are writing the name. Okay, and it is also important when we wrote the journal entry, then the narration will be written, and once the narration is completed, then we have to draw a line. Many of us don't do this, है ना? We do not draw a line, but we have to draw a line and then pass the next. Then draw a line, then pass the next. This is all about presentation. See, now we have learned how to pass journal in 11th and all we have learned about this, but the presentation is also really important. So we have to understand the presentation part also. Okay. So after every transaction, after recording every journal entry, we have to draw a line after narration. Okay. Now, one more thing that is really important, that while writing the transaction in the journal, just remember the first letter, whether it is in debit, whether it is in credit, the first letter should be in capital letter. Never use like T as small purchase. No, never. Always we will start with capital letter, either in debit or in credit. Wherever we will be recording the transaction and writing the particulars, we have to start with capital letter. Never use a small letter. It is again not a good way to record. Okay, so these are the basic precautions that we have to make while passing journal entries. Okay, is it clear to all? Is there any confusion?
I think one thing that will be needed to be elaborated, that is when we use general entry, and when general entry is too long and the at in the copy, then my copy margin is too short to erase the general entry. Then it in such type of case, general entry will be shown in the under another page. That means back side of the page. And there, in the case of such situation, we have to add all the balance, debit balance or credit balance in the last of the copy, at the end of the copy, and we have to add all the transaction balance. And when we carry forward, we just have to show the carry forwarding balance, and the other side of the copy we just show that BF balance, brought down balance.
Yes. So I was about to go into deal with this, because first of all we have to study some journal entries. When the journal entry will be completed, then I will show you how to carry forward the journal entries into the next page. So I was about to discuss that, but okay, it's really good that you know all these things, or you told these things. Now, while making journal entries, now we will study about journal, how to pass journal. Now this was the presentation part, format part. Everyone now must be knowing about the format of the journal entry. Always write DR in the debit side, 2 in the credit side. Leave some margin when you are writing 2. Now, first of all, we have to see whether the transaction will be debited or credited. So for this, we have to practice. So I will be showing it. Suppose started business with cash, furniture, rupees 1 lakh. Furniture rupees 1 lakh and cash rupees 50,000. Okay. So over here we are starting with started business with furniture rupees 1 lakh and cash rupees 5 lakh. Or okay, we will mention only one thing right now. We will not look for a compound entry. Okay. So let's write down we started business with cash rupees 50,000. So when we are starting business, which two items will be recorded?
Cash account debit.
One will be the cash account and the other will be the
Capital
account. Cash is an asset for us and asset is increasing. So when asset is increasing, we are going to write it on debit side. And capital, it is the capital only, so it is increasing and it will go on the credit side. So what will be our journal entry? Our journal entry will be cash account debit to capital account. In credit, we never use CR, we will be using 2. So we will be writing cash account debit to capital account, and always debit and the credit amount should be equal. Okay, so cash account debit to capital account with 50,000 rupees. Okay, is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Now we will discuss about the next purchase goods for cash. So whenever we are purchasing goods for cash, there will be two items. One will be the purchase, which is used for goods, and the other one will be the cash. Always remember, we will never use goods while purchasing or selling goods. We will never use the word goods. We will either use purchase or sale, whatever be the situation. Okay, so it is purchase, and purchase is goods will be the asset for us, and asset is increasing. So when asset increases, we will write it on the debit side. Cash is also an asset for us, but it is decreasing. So when asset decreases, we will be writing it on the credit side. So the journal entry will be purchase account debit to cash account. Purchase account debit to cash account. So whenever we will be purchasing goods for cash, so the entry will be purchase. Why it will be purchase will be debited? Why cash will be credited? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But over here, if we write purchase goods from A, purchase goods from A, अब हम A से सामान खरीदे, तो अब क्या होगा? जिससे हम सामान खरीदते हैं वो मेरे लिए क्या होता है?
Creditor.
Creditor, and creditor is a liability for us, है ना? So we will be using purchase and A. Purchase again is an asset. A will be liability. Asset is also increasing. Liability is also increasing. So it will be debit and it will be credit. Okay. But if you want to make it with the help of golden rule, we can also do with the help of golden rule. Okay. So whatever rule you follow, you can follow that rule. There is no issue regarding that. But the most preferable method is the modern rule, because in golden rule there are some loopholes, like kind of confusion. We will while making while using basically golden rule, there will be confusions, because some of the asset goes in personal account, some of the asset goes in real account, and there will be a lot of confusion regarding that. So using the modern rule is very convenient. Okay. So now the journal entry of this will be purchase account debit to A's account. I have used apostrophe S with the name. That is why I have used account. If apostrophe S, I wouldn't have used apostrophe S, then I would have write only to A. ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा अगर सपोज करो इसमें लिखा हुआ रहता परचेज गुड्स फ्रॉम ए फॉर कैश, तो हम लोग क्या जर्नल एंट्री करते हैं बताओ?
Purchase account debit to cash account.
तो परचेज अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश अकाउंट. यहाँ पे नाम से कोई मतलब नहीं होता. अभी हम लोग पढ़े कि नाम रहेगा इसका मतलब हम लोग उधारी में खरीद रहे हैं, बट यहाँ पे नाम का मतलब नहीं रहेगा बिकॉज इट इज मेंशन्ड ओवर हियर फॉर कैश आल्सो, है ना? So whenever we are purchasing goods in cash, we will always use cash. Whether the name is given or not, it will not matter. ठीक है ना? It is completely immaterial. Now while purchasing goods, we use the word purchase. But while purchasing fixed assets, we will never use the word purchase. है ना? Suppose purchase furniture from a for cash. Now, if suppose I am doing, मतलब I have a business of cloth, ठीक है, कपड़े का बिजनेस है, हम कपड़े का बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, तो मेरे लिए गुड्स तो कपड़ा है. अब अगर हम फर्नीचर परचेज किए हैं, if I have purchased furniture, then is it a good for me or a fixed asset? Sorry, or a fixed asset? It will be a
asset.
Fixed assets. Okay, and fixed assets will be written by its name. So we will be writing it as furniture, not purchase. We will not use purchase word with fixed assets. Purchase is only used with goods. And one will be the purchase and another will be the cash. So both are the asset for us. And one is increasing. It is also an asset for us, and it is decreasing. So when asset increases, it is debited. When asset decreases, it is credited. So the journal entry will be furniture account debit to cash account. Furniture account debit to cash account. Okay, now we have to write the now if I tell you to mention the journal entry of withdrew cash from business for personal use. What will be the journal entry?
Drawing account debit to cash account.
Drawing account debit to cash account. Just remember, whenever we withdraw cash for personal use, whenever there is a personal use, it is termed as drawing, and the other one is cash. Drawings come under capital, and it decreases capital. So when capital is decreases, it is debited. Cash is asset. It is also decreasing, so it will be credited. So my entry will be drawing account debit to cash account. Acha, if I use withdrew cash from business for paying life insurance premium. तब हम लोग का क्या होता जाएगा, withdrew cash from business for paying life insurance premium.
सर सेम एंट्री होगी क्योंकि लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम प्रोप्राइटर के पर्सनल यूज के लिए ही है।
Very good. लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम बिजनेस का नहीं होता है कभी भी वी कैन नॉट इंश्योर द लाइफ ऑफ द बिजनेस। इंश्योरेंस होता है बिजनेस का, बट फ्रॉम द मतलब टू रिकवर फ्रॉम द लॉस बाय फायर, लॉस बाय थेफ्ट, ये सब का इंश्योरेंस होता है, बट नॉट लाइफ इंश्योरेंस। तो लाइफ इंश्योरेंस किसका होगा, ओनर का। सो व्हेन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम ओनर भर रहा है तो वो अपने पर्सनल यूज के लिए पैसा विथड्रॉ कर रहा है, तो वी विल बी यूजिंग ड्राइंग ओवर हियर, है ना। तो वी विल बी राइटिंग सेम एंट्री, ड्राइंग अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश अकाउंट, बिकॉज लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम जो होता है वो ओनर का होता है, उसको ओनर को भरना होता है।
So, sir, as you mentioned here that drawing account debit to a cash account, that drawing account will be assumed as an expense.
Drawing will be the capital. Drawing will come under capital. Not just see, drawing is a separate item, but while making journal entry, why we use capital in this? Drawing can be used separately in that rule that we have written 5 rules. We can also write drawing individually. Okay, there can be 6 items, but drawing can be used as under capital also, because when owner is investing money in the business and giving money to the business, it is his capital, and capital is increasing in the business. So when owner is withdrawing the money from the business for personal use, it will decrease his capital.
Yes, sir.
So yes, that is why drawing is decreasing the capital of the owner. So when the capital is decreased, it will be debited. That is why drawing account is debited.
Okay. Okay. Sir, one more thing, that when proprietor use any goods from business to office use, then what will be entry passed?
If it is for the office use, if
Yeah.
cash is used for the office use, then the word drawing will not be used over there. And now for whatever use it has been, suppose it will be written the owner purchased office fund, owner withdrew the cash from the business and purchased office furniture for the business. So in that case, office furniture account debit to cash account. We will not use the word drawing because it is not for the personal use, it is for the office use. So for whatever use we are using their money, किसी भी पर्पस के लिए हम लोग मनी यूज कर रहे हैं, for whatever purpose, it will be shown in that particular item, particular account. Suppose
सर जैसे ये गुड्स, सर ये गुड्स विड्रॉ कर रहा है, जैसे फर्नीचर ही सर विड्रॉ किया सर ऑफिस यूज के लिए, तो फर्नीचर मतलब कि
फर्नीचर विड्रॉ किया ऑफिस यूज के लिए कैसे कर सकते हैं? ऑफिस यूज के लिए
अच्छा
फर्नीचर
सर, कोई भी गुड्स सर, जैसे मान के चलिए सर, कुछ भी गुड्स ऐसा हो जो बिजनेस से विड्रॉ करता है वो ऑफिस पर्पस के लिए सर।
गुड्स कैसे विड्रॉ करेगा ऑफिस पर्पस के लिए, ये बताओ। कोई फिक्स्ड एसेट्स कैश विड्रॉ कर सकता है ऑफिस यूज के लिए, गुड्स पर ऑफिस पर्पस के लिए कैसे यूज करेगा?
अच्छा ओके।
गुड्स विड्रॉ करेगा तो पर्सनल यूज के लिए ना करेगा। अगर मेरे बिजनेस में गुड्स पड़ा हुआ है तो वो बेचने के लिए ना पड़ा हुआ है, तो बिजनेस ही के लिए ना पड़ा हुआ है। उसको अगर क्या बोले, हम कपड़े का दुकान है मेरा, तो वहां पे जितना ही कपड़े रखे हुए वो तो बिजनेस में ही रखे हुए, वो तो बिजनेस यूज के लिए ही है। अगर हम उसको विड्रॉ करेंगे तो हम अपने पहनने के लिए करेंगे ना, वो हम अपने पर्सनल यूज के लिए करेंगे ना, वो हम बाद में देखेंगे कि गुड्स का क्या होता है। अभी हम लोग स्टेप बाय स्टेप चल रहे हैं। देखो बहुत लोग को होता है कि जर्नल एंट्री आता है, बिकॉज हम लोग इसको पढ़ते आ रहे हैं 11th-12th से। बहुत लोग ऐसा भी होंगे जिनको नहीं आता है, हो सकता है कि साइंस बैकग्राउंड से बहुत लोग आते हैं कॉमर्स में, तो उन लोग को इशू हो सकता है। इसी के लिए हम लोग एक एक चीज अभी डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि कोई भी बैकग्राउंड से कोई भी आया हो, इससे कोई इशू नहीं होगा, सबको क्लियर होगा। और अगर तुम लोग को आता है तो ये और क्लियर होता जाएगा। तो हम लोग स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलेंगे। तुम लोग ये पहुंच गए बहुत आगे, तो अभी हम लोग स्टेप बाय स्टेप, अभी हम कंपाउंड एंट्री सिखाएंगे, डिस्काउंट और सबका सब हम लोग एक एक करके सारा एंट्री सीखेंगे, जितना हम लोग 11th में सीखे थे वो सारा चीज कंप्लीट करते हुए आगे बढ़ेंगे। ठीक है, तो इसी के लिए इतना हड़बड़ी नहीं, अभी हम लोग आराम से सारा चीज कंप्लीट। पहले बताओ कि ये तीनों क्लियर हुआ ना सबको? किसी को भी इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है?
नो सर।
सिमिलरली जैसे हम लोग परचेज का किए, सिमिलरली हम सेल्स का भी कर लेंगे। ठीक है ना? if it is mentioned sold goods for cash ₹10,000, लेकिन ना कैश में हम लोग गुड्स को सेल करेंगे, तो whenever we will be selling goods in cash, so one will be the cash, one will be the sale, है ना? Cash is an asset for us, goods is also an asset for us. Now when we are selling, we are getting cash, कैश हम लोग के पास आएगा, कैश हम लोग का क्या हो रहा है, इंक्रीज, है ना? कैश इज इंक्रीजिंग। जब हम लोग सेल कर रहे हैं तो गुड्स हम लोग के पास से क्या हो रहा है, जा रहा है, तो गुड्स जाएगा तो एसेट यहाँ पे क्या करेगा, डिक्रीज, और जब एसेट डिक्रीज करता है तो क्रेडिट करते हैं, और एसेट इंक्रीज करता है तो डेबिट करते हैं। तो इसका जर्नल एंट्री क्या हो जाएगा, कैश अकाउंट डेबिट टू सेल्स अकाउंट, कैश अकाउंट डेबिट टू सेल्स अकाउंट, है ना? Now the next entry we will be discussing about paid salary. So whenever it is written paid salary, suppose ₹15,000. So if we are paying salary what ₹15,000, so we will be using the word cash with it, because whenever the salary is paid, generally salary is paid in cash. If it will be written that paid salary ₹15,000 in check, then we will be using bank account. Suppose it is mentioned in check. So if it is mentioned that we are paying that salary in check, then it will be salary and bank, because if using check, there will be involvement of bank, we will be using bank. If nothing was mentioned, by default it was used as a cash. So salary is an expense for us, bank is an asset for us, expenses is increasing, है ना? जब हम लोग सैलरी लेंगे तो बोलते हैं ना कि हम लोग का खर्च क्या हो रहा है, बढ़ रहा है, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग का खर्च क्या होगा, इंक्रीज कर रहा है, expenses are increasing and asset is decreasing, bank is decreasing, so it will be debited and it will be credited. So the journal entry will be salary account debit to bank account, salary account debit to bank account. ठीक है, तो ये सब एंट्रीज है जो भी हमको लगता है कि क्लियर हुआ बहुत हद तक। अब हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे कंपाउंड एंट्री की तरफ। वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट कंपाउंड एंट्री। ठीक है, सो व्हाट इज कंपाउंड एंट्री बेसिकली? So whenever we will be passing compound entry, what we have to remember about compound entry is two things. Majorly two things. Okay, the first one is nature should be same. Nature should be same, and the other thing is date should be same. ना? Date should be same. दो चीजों का कंपाउंड एंट्री में, ये दोनों का सेम होना बहुत जरूरी है। कंपाउंड एंट्री होता क्या बेसिकली? कंपाउंड एंट्री वैसा एंट्री है जिसमें हम लोग एक से ज्यादा आइटम को डेबिट में या एक से ज्यादा आइटम को क्रेडिट में दिखाते हैं। अभी तक हम लोग जितना जर्नल एंट्री पास किए उसमें एक ही आइटम डेबिट हो रहा था, एक ही आइटम क्रेडिट हो रहा था। बट अब हम लोग क्या देखेंगे कि या तो डेबिट में एक से ज्यादा आइटम आएगा या फिर क्रेडिट में एक से ज्यादा आइटम आएगा। तो उस तरह के एंट्रीज को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? कंपाउंड एंट्री। तो इस दोनों चीज को ध्यान रखना है कंपाउंड एंट्री में, ये बहुत जरूरी है कि नेचर सेम होना चाहिए और डेट भी सेम होना चाहिए। कैसे देख रहे हैं? अब सपोज करो कि मेरे को क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ रहेगा 5th of January paid rent rupees 10,000 and again 5th of January paid salary rupees 15,000. ठीक है ना? Paid salary rupees 15,000. Now see over here dates are same. Both are on 5th of January. So dates are same. Okay. And now nature. What does nature means? Nature should be same. Rent is an expense for us. है ना? And salary is also is an expense for us. So both are the expenses for us. Though nature is also same. So we can now pass compound entry for this. So while passing compound entry, what we have to do? We are paying rent and we are paying salary. Both are paid in cash, है ना? So cash is common in both the item. So पहले हम लोग ये देखते हैं कि अगर अलग अलग करते हैं तो कैसे करते हैं. तो अगर अलग अलग एंट्री करते हैं क्या लिखते हैं? रेंट अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश अकाउंट, है ना? 10,000 से हम लोग रेंट पे किए, हम लोग का एक्सपेंसेस क्या हो गया? बढ़ गया. खर्च हम लोग का क्या हो गया? बढ़ गया. तो जब खर्च अगर हम लोग का बढ़ जाता है तो उसको हम लोग कहां पे लिखते हैं? डेबिट पे. ठीक है. और टू कैश अकाउंट, और कैश को हम लोग कहां लिख देते हैं? क्रेडिट में लिख देते हैं, मेंशन कर देते हैं. ठीक है. उसके बाद पेड सैलरी. सो सैलरी अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश अकाउंट. So when we are paying salary, so we will be debiting the salary account. So it will be salary account debit to cash account. So it is an expense for us. Expense बढ़ता है तो डेबिट करते हैं, एसेट है, एसेट घटता है तो क्रेडिट करते हैं. तो ये तो हो गया. और दोनों का दोनों एंट्री कब था? 5th of January. डेट सेम है, एक्सपेंसेस सेम है. तो हम लोग ऐसे अलग अलग एंट्री भी पास कर सकते हैं, या फिर इसके जगह पे we can also pass a compound entry. So how we will be passing the compound entry? So for writing compound entry, we will be using rent account debit. Now salary will also be debited. So we will be writing salary account debit. And now in both the item, the cash has been credited. So we will be writing to cash account. तो रेंट कितना है? 10,000. सैलरी कितना है? 15,000. तो टोटल कैश कितना हो जाएगा हम लोग का? 25,000. कैश में हम लोग ऐड करके देख देंगे कि दोनों के लिए कैश पे कर रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए whenever the expenses will be written, it will be written on the debit side. तो इसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? कंपाउंड एंट्री. डेबिट में एक से ज्यादा ट्रांजैक्शन आ गया, आइटम आ गया, तो ये हम लोग के लिए क्या हो गया? compound entry. So while passing compound entry, either on the debit side or on the credit side, एक से ज्यादा ट्रांजैक्शन जब रिकॉर्ड हो तो वो हम लोग के लिए क्या बन जाता है? कंपाउंड एंट्री. तो यहां तक हमको लगता है सबको क्लियर है. यहाँ पे किसी कोई अगर कोई डाउट है, कुछ इशू है, पूछना है तो पूछो.
No sir, no problem.
नहीं है ना किसी को कोई डाउट? ठीक है.
No, sir.
हम लोग आज के लिए क्लास यहीं पे एंड करते हैं because it's 9 now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.